Hi everyone, welcome to Flosstube number 75. In today's video I have 4 projects to show you, progress on 4 projects. Before we jump into the progress though, I first want to say welcome to any returning viewer. Thank you so much for coming back. And if you're new here, hi, my name is Marika and this is a channel mostly about cross stitching. So we're gonna start with the weekly stats. And the weekly stats are fairly simple. I've had 7 stitch days. Of those 7 stitch days, I've stitched 9,223 stitches, which is an average of 1,317 stitches. So I've gotten a lot stitching this past week. I also have had a very low energy, so I have been sitting by my stitching for hours and watched a lot of good movies and TV series and YouTube. Anyhow, let's get into the works in progress. So the first project I have for you this week is Cauldron of Myrrh. Cauldron of Myrrh is started by Unconventional Cross Stitch and it is designed by Ivy Dollemore. I want to do a little shout out as I've done the last couple of weeks because I think this is the last week I can do this shout out, and that is Ivy Dollemore is getting retired by the end of the month. So if you like her designs and you want her patterns, go run to Unconventional Cross Stitch and get them. But that was it for the little shout out. Now we're going to talk about my progress this week. So this was where I was before and this is where I am now. Isn't it beautiful? So I have stitched on this piece here, I have stitched 1,829 stitches over 2 days. And I have reached so many different goals on this piece this week. I do want to first say though that this is 25 count easy grid and I do 2/1 full cross on all of my full coverage pieces. The goals that I have hit this week is I hit 30,000 on the project. I hit 30,000 as my yearly goal because I started it this year. I also hit 20.1% on the project. And lastly, I threw in a little thing in the beginning of the month, and that was I was going to get 7,500 stitches done on this project before the end of November, and I did. So yeah, all of the goals were hit, all of the milestones were hit. And this one is now going back into its pouch for a little while. I don't know how long, but for a little while. I have done all the stitching for the year and I've done all the WIPGO on her. So we'll see when she will show her face, most likely in the beginning of next year. The next project today is the only non-full coverage that I have for you today. There will be much more full coverage, non-full coverage coming up both next week and coming weeks. Right now I've been very much concentrating on trying to get to my goals on my full coverage so I then can just stitch Christmas for the rest of December. This project is Big City Christmas. This is by Country Cottage Needleworks. It is sold as 7 different patterns. However, there is a guide over at Country Cottage Needleworks homepage, webpage that shows you how to put these into a 7 pattern piece long piece, and that is how I am doing it. So this is where I was last week and this is where I am this week. So I have gotten another part of this 7-part project done. It is the theater. It is just adorable. I have so much loved stitching this. You can see, the thing is, this looks a little bit lighter in like this light than it does. This is basically a very nice light taupe, but with glitter. It is called Lurex. It is 32 count. However, the stars doesn't show up, or the snowflakes doesn't show up on cameras as well as they do in real life, because they really do show up in real life. That is part number 2. I have stitched 2,074 stitches over 2 days, and this project is now at 32.9%. And I have stitched this in DMC 2/1, 2/2. over to. The charted threads are the fancy floss, and I have taken the conversion that actually exists in the pattern of the DMC and just go with the DMC. And I found a new favorite red, 304, beautiful deep red, really love it. The next project I have for you is Rose Library. Rose Library is another of my full coverage designs. It is sharded by Unconventional Cross Stitch, designed by Ivy Dollemore, so another beautiful Ivy Dollemore shard. It is stitched on 25 count gridded Evenweave with a sharded DMC 2/1. This came out because I have a December WIPGO goal for it, and I decided to jump in and do my December goals here in the beginning of November because I want to do Christmas for December. That is where I am. That is where I am. So this is where I am right now with the project. And this is where I have been working in these windows, and aren't they beautiful? Those windows are just gorgeous. I really love that glass, window glass. They're super beautiful. They're also very much full of confetti. I stitched 4 days on this and I got 3,810 stitches done, and I am now at 32.9%. And I stitched some extra, no, at 12.6%. I'm reading in the wrong column. I'm at 12.6% on this project. And I did some extra on this because I ended up finishing off my 30,000 stitches for this project. So I did hit two big goals, which was 30,000 stitches on my yearly goal. I think I started it in like fall of 2024. So this haven't been out that long either. None of my Unconventional cross stitch has, because I found them very recently. But yeah, so this is where I am. This will also go away because now I have finished my yearly goal on that, and yeah, I can just put it away with a good conscience. For my last project, I have Gamer Nouveau. This is sharded by Gecko Rouge. It is designed by Medusa Dollmaker. This is a retired shard, however you can get Medusa Dollmaker's own version of this shard over at her webpage. Or yeah, over on her site, her store. However, that is not this sharding, so I don't know how that works. I just know that I really love the sharding that Gecko Rouge did, so I am super happy. This is where I was the last time, and this is where I am now. And look how gorgeous she is. She is so gorgeous. And where I've been working is over here. So I've done the hand and the fingers. I've done this part. This is a Tetris block and like half of the face of that. So I'm slowly coming in and filling in. I had a diagonal in that direction over here, and then I'm going in that direction nowadays. So I'm just about to hit that point where I have finished off, done away with the other diagonal, which is also going to give me less threads on this project. I stitched 1,510 stitches over 2 days, and I'm at 39.85%. And I just wanted to sit and do the rest of the 300 stitches. However, I finished this morning, and I couldn't wait another 3 hours to record because I was pretty sure that I wouldn't feel energized enough to make a video for you. So I just ended up stopping at 39.85%. And I will pick her up maybe later this year or in the beginning of the next year. And that was all of the projects that I have been cross-stitching this week. However, I do want to kind of follow up on the plans. The plans I had for this week was to finish Cauldron of Myrrh, finish the first part or the second part of Big City Christmas. I also wanted to get as far as I could on Rose Library, and I actually superseded that goal because I did finish the goal that Rose Library had. And the stretch goal I had for the week was to do the finish the ugly sweater Mill Hill kit, but I chose to go with Gamer Nouveau instead because I had a couple of days and I knew that I would finish ugly sweater, then I wouldn't have enough time to finish Gamer Nouveau's WIPGO goal, because that was why I did 1500 stitches on Gamer Nouveau, was because she had WIPGO for December too. So I forgoed, is that a word even? The ugly sweater Mill Hill kit, finishing that to finish Gamer Nouveau. So all in all, I did finish the plans. I just did a little bit of a switcheroo there. However, this week I do have another plan, little plan. It's really nice having weekly plans, because weekly plans are so much easier to grasp onto. So I think I'm going to try and do some weekly plans going forward, just to get some of the projects out and done. So for this week, or the upcoming week, I'm gonna do another section of the Big City Christmas. So another house. I'm really looking forward to that. Number 2 is I am going to finish the ugly sweater Mill Hill kit. It should be done in half a day. Number 3, these are not in the order I'm gonna do them, it's just in the order I have written them down. Number 3 is I have a bunch of Christmas ornament from Dimension. The Dimension came with 5 or 6 ornaments. I think it was 6 ornaments. I did the barn last year and then I started the church, and I haven't finished the church, so I do want to work on that. I do not think I will finish it, but I want to work on it, and that is this one. So I want to give it like 2 or 3 days. This is the church. So this is where I am with that one. This is also a way for me to give you a before picture, because I haven't picked this up in so long, so I don't know when I picked it up last time. I keep track of that now. I didn't when I stitched on this. So this is the project, and I hope to get quite a big chunk done. I think these are about almost 10,000 stitches each, so they are much bigger than you think. I think they were that big. Not 100% so sure. You will get that information in next week. I do have one more project. So the 4th point on my list and the last project that I'm gonna work on next week is Christmas House 1. I have one more WIPGO for December left, and that is Christmas House 1. So I need to get 1500 stitches done on Christmas House. However, I put it into the frame because you're gonna get a full picture next time. As you see here, I just have the sliver. The sliver is actually like almost 30 stitches deep. So this is probably 4, 5, 6,000 stitches. It's a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So it's a minimum of 6,000 stitches. There is more because we have a couple of stitches down here also. So it's probably closer to 8,000 stitches left on this one for this row. And I do want to put in some more stitching on this project. So I might try to hit the row this year, not this week. So here it is so far though. So yeah, that is all of my plans. So the last thing that I talk about, well, I did have some crocheting. I haven't done a lot of crocheting this week. My shoulder has been acting up, so all I've gotten is I did get a little bit on the hat. However, it's not that much, so it's not very noticeable. I also tried the new yarn that I got from Hobby for these like faux turtleneck kind of things that I wanted to make, or that my sister-in-law asked me to make for her mother and her 3 daughters. So I've started on that. I'm doing them completely crochet, and so it's really nice. The yarn really smells like wool. It's a acrylic wool blend that is washable in machine, because that was kind of the the idea was they would be able to throw them in. It's for young children. Some of them will be for young children. So that was kind of how I wanted to make them. That was the little I have on crochet. I have nothing to show you today because I don't this much of ribbing, but I do have a little bit of a life update. First, I got my new glasses. These are not the new ones. These are not the new ones. These are my new ones. Well, they're new glass. I have new glass at least, but these are my new ones. Do you like them? They're kind of cute, right? They're kind of cute. So I do have 2 pair of glasses that are very different because I think I like having very different glasses. So yeah, these are the ones that are the new ones. They are a little bit darker than my previous. I had the same frames, I just had a lighter pair, and I think a darker pair, especially towards like summer, would be great for my face. Right now they're pretty out there, but I like them. They're nice. And then I have these, which are my transitional sunglasses. I had to have my new glasses done. My sight has gotten very much worse. I've gone from -5 to -5.75. So I don't see very well, but I'm lucky. I have a glasses subscription. The optician that I go to, they have a subscription on glasses. I pay a certain amount of money each month. It is one of my few subscriptions that I have, but I pay the money, which is equivalent to around $55. And I signed up for it about a year ago, and I have two years more to go before the glasses are paid for, basically. And how it works is that not only am I getting I get the glasses and then I pay for them each month. It is locked down. I have to pay for them for 2 years. I can't quit in the middle. However, I do get the glasses at the end of it. I think I have to pay extra for one of my pairs because they are a little bit fancier. But that is kind of how it all works. But they have the benefits, and these are the benefits that I really love about this specific subscription, and that is I have unlimited of checkups with the opticians for free, nothing have to pay for, and they will switch my glasses, the glass in my glasses, if I need to. So when I have my checkup with my optician, if my glasses look bad or I need a stronger prescription or a weaker prescription, they will for free change the glass in my glasses. And for me, my glasses are the expensive part. They are expensive because not only do I have bad eyesight, so they're fairly thick, I also have like a divided eyesight, so I have one subscription at the top, so I can look long away and I can actually see the TV now. And then I have one at the bottom, which makes me be able to read on my mobile phone or on my cross-stitching and see the cross-stitching. It's taken about a week to kind of figure them out, or I got them in the middle of last week, but I am super happy. I can see again. I haven't been able to see in like 6 months at least. So I'm super happy to have my new glasses. So that is awesome. Update on the tummy thing. I actually got a medication that they wanted me to try, which I have tried. I tried over the weekend. I can only try it when I eat like more fat food kind of a thing. And they actually work. They actually work. It's a little bit annoying. I have to take the medication within 30 minutes from starting to eat. So if I want to go out and eat a very rich meal, basically a very fat meal, I am going to need to take it with me somehow. It tastes, well, I don't really know what it tastes. Everywhere I read about it, and my doctor just recommended to take it with lemonade. Raspberry lemonade is what I take it with, because it's not supposed to taste very well, and it has a consistency which is really, it's not liquid. You pour it in and you whip it around, and what you are like throwing down is something grainy. It's very grainy, so it's not very nice to take. However, it has worked. We tried 3 times this weekend with a little bit more food. Usually for the past few months, anything that has fat in it has really messed with my tummy. And even though I have my like extra tablets, it's very easy to overdo the fat, and then it kind of overtakes those extra tablets and my tummy breaks. That is kind of how it's been. This medication made my tummy not break, and I didn't have tummy ache, and it was amazing. I don't know what we are going to do with it, but so far I know it helps. So I am super happy about that. I'm hoping to see some change in me in the next couple of weeks, being able to eat a little bit more. But we will see. I've gone with this so long, so it can take a while before you kind of get your energy back up and everything. But yeah, that was basically my week. We haven't done a lot more at all, to be honest. I've mainly been cross-stitching. I've been out for groceries, stuff like that. Yesterday we went and got a light bulb because we have a little star hanging in our window. This is a very common Swedish Christmas decoration. It is a 5-pointed star. It is a metallic one. It has 2 metallic pieces that you connect in the 5 kind of corners, and then at the top you have a little plastic holder that sits within that star that you just put you have the cable and everything for the light. So it's like one light bulb. It's super simple. It is gorgeous. I have grown up having these throughout all my life, so I really wanted one. And I think we bought it like last year, but we've been had it hanging up for like all 365 days of the year because I like to have it. It's very nice. I wake up nightly at least once and need to go out in the apartment, and having that light, I don't need to turn on any other lights, which is really, really nice. But it's been black for quite some time, so we went and bought a new little light bulb for it, and then we took it apart to get the light bulb out, and when I held in the light bulb, I felt that, hey, this isn't fully sitting in. So I just screwed it in again, pressed the button, and it lighted up. So we didn't need an extra light bulb, but now I have a star that lights up, and in the case of the light kind of getting a little bit dark again, we have a new light bulb laying around. So that is awesome. We continue to do Christmas decorations. I moved out my Lego to the top of the bookcase where I have my Lego. So it's my Christmas Lego. I have a couple of pieces from Lego City, and then I have a Alpine Lodge that I got a couple of years ago. So that is what I have moved up with some decorations. I also have put out some of my crocheted Santas. We're still trying to figure out how to decorate because our apartment is configured differently now. Like, not per room, but what we have, where we have it. So I have to try to figure out where we are going to do all the decorations, but bit by bit we're getting a little bit more Christmassy here. How are you doing? How are you feeling? Are you okay? I hope you are. I hope your upcoming week is going to bring some joy. I do understand that holidays are hard, so I hope that you spend the holidays here with people you love and have someone to take care. The upcoming Thanksgiving here in the US, not here, here's Sweden. I want to say happy Thanksgiving to the US people who are celebrating. Happy Friendsgiving if that is what you have chosen to celebrate. We are still waiting for Christmas. We have this weekend is first Advent. In Sweden we celebrate Advent, but I do celebrate, so this weekend is gonna be first of Advent. So that is it. That's gonna be awesome. also. But yes, I want to say thank you so much for watching, and I hope you will be back next week when I show you all the progress on all my different projects that I talked about. Thank you again for being here. If you liked it, please thumbs it up. If you want to see more like this, hit that subscribe button and comment down below. Comment something that brings you joy. See you next week. Bye!